Abu Hurairah tells us that the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, the heart of an old man remains young in two things: love of life and love of wealth. In another narration, he said, alayhi salatu wasalam, the heart of an elderly person remains youthful in two things: love of this world and long hopes. And yet in another narration, he said, as a person grows older and his body weakens, his heart remains young in love of two things: long life and wealth. We find that, and there are many narrations other than that, but we don't have enough time. We find that the Prophet ﷺ highlighted that everything becomes old in our bodies, yet the heart remains young and strong, pumps like crazy for two reasons: because it loves this dunya, this life, and it has long hope. Now, scholars interpreted this hadith and explained it in so many beautiful words. Al-Munawi, rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy on his soul, says that because an elderly person is growing old and weak, yet his heart continues to be young in the love of this dunya and in the love of living longer and longer. So no matter how old he gets physically, his heart yearns to live longer and gain more. Imam Qurtubi says in this hadith, it highlights that it is abhorred and disliked in Islam to live long, or to love to live long, and to gain and hoard money. Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar wrote in his book Fath al-Bari that the reason the Prophet chose these two things, alayhi salatu wasalam, loving long life and having this love for this dunya, is that the most valuable thing to a person's self is his own life. So he wants to preserve it. He wants to maintain it. And that is why he loves to live longer and longer. And he loves money, he loves this dunya, he loves wealth, because it is one of the greatest means of continuous health, which usually would result in prolonging your life. And this is why the more people have money, the more longer they live, because they can afford good doctors, good hospitals, and the lifespan expectancy would grow longer and longer. It is also said that he remains young, not that his heart is actually young, rather because these two characteristics are more befitting of young people: to love this dunya, to love gaining more wealth so that they could enjoy it more and more. So the love of this dunya is a representation of the love of wealth. What is it that we love in this dunya? Is it the concrete buildings? Is it the steel vehicles? No, it is what we can enjoy of it. And the love of long life and having long hopes is to live forever if we can. The love of dunya is the worst thing that may corrupt the heart. And we don't pay attention to that, unfortunately. We see that when someone says, I don't love this dunya, I don't need to share with you the glamours of this life. I don't enjoy what you guys are striving to collect and boast about. They look at you, they actually look down at you and say that there's something wrong with you. You're not natural. Not knowing that the love of this dunya is one of the worst corruptors of the heart. Because when you love this dunya, you become enslaved to it, to its adornment, to its beauty. And that would make you give it precedent to Allah's love Azza wa Jal.